Some books preserve knowledge. This one guards its secrets in silence. In the secure vault at Yale University, locked behind glass, sits a 240-page manuscript written in a language no one has ever understood. The script is unknown, the drawings are bizarre, and the author is anonymous. And for over 100 years, the best codebreakers have tried and failed to make sense of it. It should be nonsense, but it isn't. This is File 5 from the Artifact Archives. In 1912, rare book dealer Wilfred Voynich purchased a strange bundle of old manuscripts from a Jesuit college near Rome. Among them was one that immediately stood out, a leather-bound book filled with looping handwritten text and vivid surreal illustrations. Plants that don't exist, human figures immersed in flowing, otherworldly water systems, astrological charts with unfamiliar symbols. Voynich bought the manuscript to England, then the United States, convinced it was the lost work of a medieval genius, perhaps Roger Bacon, perhaps someone else. He spent years trying to decode it, reaching out to linguists, historians, and cryptographers. No one could read a single word of it. One linguist, William Friedman, who helped crack Japan's code during World War II, dedicated years to the Voynich. He was sure there was a key, some logic, behind the madness. But after countless hours, even Friedman admitted defeat. Another codebreaker, Mary de Imperio, once said, "It was like chasing a ghost. Each page hinted at meaning, but it always slipped away." For these experts, people who cracked wartime ciphers, the Voynich wasn't just a puzzle. It was something else. The script didn't match Latin, Greek, Arabic, or any known language family. The structure was too consistent to be gibberish, but too alien to translate. It wasn't just mysterious, it was something else entirely. The manuscript is composed of roughly 240 vellum pages, though some are missing. Carbon dating places the parchment around the early 1400s, likely between 1404 and 1438. The ink and paint are consistent with that period. It is, by scientific measures, authentic. But authentic how? Linguists have mapped the script, now called Voynichese, and confirmed that it follows statistical pattern seen in natural language. Certain symbols cluster together. Word frequency follows the law of human speech. Yet no known cipher, substitution method, or linguistic key has ever cracked the code. Some believe it's a hoax, an elaborate medieval prank meant to fool or impress. Others are convinced it's a genuine language, possibly extinct, possibly invented, possibly from a culture we'd never uncovered. Then there are the illustrations. Plants with no known counterpart. Cosmological diagrams no one can explain. People floating in tubes filled with stars and liquid. The book feels scientific, but reads like a dream. Mainstream scholars still debate its purpose. Some view the manuscript as a ciphered botanical or medical guide, encoded to protect knowledge during times of persecution. Others interpret it as a constructed language, a philosophical experiment in communication, perhaps even a personal project with no intended audience. But the deeper you go, the stranger it gets. French researchers have proposed the manuscript was channeled in a trance-like state, dictated by an unknown intelligence beyond the author's conscious mind. Others focus on its astronomical wheels and fluid imagery, suggesting contact with something non-human, perhaps even extraterrestrial, in origin. There are theories that place its roots in parallel knowledge systems, disconnected from European thought entirely, systems that developed in isolation, guided by a logic we no longer share and symbols we no longer recognize. Whatever its origin, one truth remains. The deeper it's studied, the more elusive it becomes. The Voynich manuscript isn't just a linguistic mystery. It feels like a map to a worldview we've never encountered. Its pages are filled with wheels that resemble cosmological diagrams, systems of knowledge that blends astrology, nature, and possibly medicine. The illustrations hint at cycles of life, fertility, and transformation, but never spells out their purpose. Some scholars have compared the manuscript to alchemical codices, designed to conceal knowledge through layers of metaphors and symbols. Others draw parallels to Gnostic or esoteric traditions, where wisdom is hidden not just from the uninitiated, but from the unready. Even the repeated presence of human figures immersed in strange environments, flowing through star-touched channels, suggests a symbolic rebirth or metaphysical process rather than a literal one. This isn't just a book, it's a worldview, sealed in ink and parchment. For all the theories, one glaring issue remains. No one knows who wrote it, why it was created, or how to read a single word of it. The manuscript has no title, no named author, and no recognizable origin. Radiocarbon dating confirms the pages are authentic, but that only tells us where the parchment was made, not when the writing was added, or by whom. Cryptographers from institutions around the world have attempted to decode it. NSA analysis have run it through pattern recognition software. AI has been trained on it. Each effort confirms the same thing. This is not random scribbling. It follows natural language pattern. It has structure, rhythm, syntax, but none of it translates. Some believe it's a form of glossolalia, language generated without conscious control. Others argue it's an unsolved cipher. Its key either lost or deliberately obscured. And then there's the possibility no one wants to admit. What if it's real, but written for no one we'd ever recognize? The manuscript isn't hidden, it's on display, scanned, published online, studied in open circles. But in academic circles, it's treated with caution, filed on anomalies, not active research. Most universities avoid it. Linguistic departments rarely engage. And when they do, it's framed as an artifact of interest, not urgency. Some suggest that's because it doesn't offer testable hypothesis. Others suspect something deeper, an institutional reluctance to deal with a book that refuses to conform to any known category of history, language, or science. The Voynich Manuscript doesn't just lack translation, it lacks a home, and in the face of that, silence becomes a kind of rejection. Despite its silence, the manuscript has become a legend. It's inspired novels, films, research labs, even online communities dedicated to solving what may be unsolvable. Linguists, historians, cryptographers, and dreamers all take their turn, only to walk away with more questions than answers. Some artifacts change what we know. This one reminds us how much we don't. The Voynich Manuscript doesn't speak, and yet it continues to be read again and again by those convinced that hidden meanings still lingers beneath the ink. Maybe it isn't meant to be solved. Maybe it's a test. Because if language can exist without translation, and symbols can live without a key, then what else have we missed, buried not by time, but by our own limits? Let us know what you believe, because this is only file 5, and the archive still holds pages we've yet to turn.